Welcome in everybody to the 49ers podcast. I'm your host, Matt Daniel, joined by John Gallagher. John, how are we doing today, brother?
Doing very well. How about you?
I can't complain. The Niners are 2-0.
2-0.
I mean, we do have things to complain about, obviously, but, at the end of the day, we're 2-0. So,
Yep.
could be worse.
I don't want to say complain. I'm just concerned.
Yes, we have our concerns.
Yeah.
So, the 49ers beat the Eagles 17-11. We did predict a shootout. We both kind of thought it was going to be a big test for the offense because we weren't sure how our cornerbacks were going to hold up. That wasn't really the case. It ended up being a defensive battle, and our defense made the stops when it counted. It kind of seemed like that was the difference in the game. When we needed a stop, we got it. When we needed a first down, we got it. And that was pretty much the game. It was nothing flashy. I mean, the Eagles had that one big play.
To Quez.
From their own 2 to the 2, against Demo. But other than that, our defense was good. We blocked the kick. We had some issues containing Jalen, but I didn't think it wasn't as bad as last year where it was just like it seemed like we couldn't stop it. There were plays where it was like,
it just always bit us on third down.
Yeah, and it was just like over and over and over. It happens sometimes, especially on that one drive in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't anything too bad. It wasn't too concerning to me. Overall, kind of a meh game.
Yeah, but you do have to praise the road wins though. Like it's not easy to back-to-back road games on that East Coast. It is great that they pulled that win out. Having said that, there is a lot to be desired in that offense, right? Like that's not firing on all cylinders when I'm watching it, right? What do you feel about it?
It's tough because it's like our plan to win football games is, work through our run game and then move from there. So then the question is, with all of our running backs hurt,
decimated,
what do we do? Because do we now have to change our game plan? But that's not really how the 49ers win football games. Or do we just say, it doesn't matter who it is, just next man up? And now, because Elijah Mitchell was not efficient. And that not even partially was Mitchell's fault. Their defensive line was in our backfield and it was half a second, because they knew what we were going to do.
Is real. Yeah. Eagles D-line is a very real force. My concern though, last year, the 49er game plan was featuring Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and the run game. It wasn't so much of one thing that those other three didn't get work, right? Yep. Especially near the end of the season when Ayuk was really coming on. So I see a total deviation of all of that just to run the ball at this, exorbitant amount. Like Kittle's not getting a lot of targets. Ayuk certainly not getting a lot of targets. Debo still is, and Debo's kind of, he's running with it. Literally, that run after catch is absolutely devastating against other teams, and I'm loving every bit of it. But if I'm being honest, when I watch that offense, it looks like a fraction of itself, if that makes sense.
It looks like there's something missing.
And
just sort of. And part of it, I can even go to play calling because there are times where I'm just like, okay, we just ran the same play twice, something similar. We're going to do something like Kyle's going to, deep down to his bag of tricks and he's going to run a double end around that looked like a screen that's going to break off with Kittle. It's like something like that. And that never really came.
Right.
We saw one handoff to Debo. I think he took it out of the backfield too, but it was just like, I don't know. It just seemed like there were some times where Kyle Shanahan looked like he was just like playing with his toys, and he's just like, oh, this is going to be a 40-yard touchdown. Boom. But I haven't really seen that.
I haven't seen it either. Yeah.
So I don't really know.
It doesn't look it like it before. It looked like it was fun, right? It looked like everybody was having fun. It doesn't look fun right now.
Yeah.
There's a weirdness around it. And like you said, it looked like he was playing with his toys, and like the toys aren't out except for Debo. Kittle's he's definitely in. He's getting a large snap share, but in terms of just featuring his role of this elite tight end that he is, it's he's not really a factor in the offense right now, and maybe it's early. We only are talking about 2 games right now, But I do know we're certainly going to need him against a team like the Green Bay Packers.
For sure. And I mean, that's Kittle in the past has destroyed Green Bay. So, I mean, but 4 catches for 17 yards, I think was the stat line.
Yeah. For George Kittle.
Yeah. And I know George Kittle does so much more for this offense than catch passes, because of his
100%,
ability to block and just ability to be just a decoy in general. But we need more from Kittle and Ayuk as well. And I don't know how much of it is just like these guys not getting open, or because Kyle Shanahan just not drawing up plays for them. I mean, the only target that Ayuk had, it looked like it was a drawn up, I'm going to Ayuk right here. And then that was the play. But that's the only time I'm going to draw up a play for debatably my best, one of the most talented players on my team.
100%. I did see some other clips floating around my timeline of plays where Ayuk was a featured, option in the passing route, but just he didn't get the ball thrown to him. So it'll be interesting. If I had to just have conspiracy theory guess, Ayuk might be like a vocal supporter of start Trey Lance, and then it's just.
Do you think a second? Ayuk seems like a pretty quiet guy.
I know.
He doesn't seem like.
I know. I said conspiracy theory. I'm trying. It's trying.
You got your hat on.
I got it. Yeah, it's tinfoil hat. Like I just because nothing else really makes sense to me. A first round talent like Ayuk. Somebody who is regarded as an alpha build, why isn't he getting featured? Why, is it, and am I just being too, what's the word? Impatient because it's week 2? That could be, and I hope so.
Yeah. And I think that pretty much everything we're saying is you could probably put in like we're being impatient category because, if that's how football is, you can't like predicting humans is like impossible, so maybe we're just being impatient, and maybe defenses are just like their game plan is just let's shut down Ayuk. We'll let Debo do what he needs to do as long as we're able to avoid Ayuk touching the football. Maybe that's their game plan. Maybe that's what the Eagles did, and that was what because he was at least he was on the field last week.
Right.
That's real. Week 1 he wasn't, and maybe let's go along the timeline of. It was his hamstring. He just wasn't ready, so he didn't quite get the snaps. Week 2, they're like, okay, now Ayuk's going to be ready. Let's just stop Ayuk at all costs, and then we'll let Debo do what he needs to do. I mean, at the end of the day, it worked because our offense was not efficient and it was slow. And it really wasn't good. So
that's true.
I mean, clearly what they were doing was working. I think most of it was just the defensive line being really good. And our offensive line played pretty well. For the most part, especially pass pro. Their run protection wasn't great. I mean, he got more snaps than Mo Sanu and Trent Sherfield did last week, but just the one target.
Yeah, the one target is rough, especially like that. That red zone touchdown to Juwan Jennings. It's just like cool. Yeah, Juwan's gonna be a cool player, but it's just weirder to see these depth players getting so much. So much run early when we're talking about, George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk, and they're just not really in the game as often, or at least being featured as like an offensive threat the way that we've kind of known them to be.
Yeah, especially the red zone one. I mean, like the Juwan one you were talking about, because it's like, why is Juwan even in the game at that point? Because that was like our most important drive of the game up to that point, and so why is our wide receiver 5? And I mean, nothing against Juwan, obviously, but I just feel like in that situation, and I mean, part of it could have been they're just not. The plan was for them to hopefully ignore the guy, and they're more likely to ignore him if it's not Ayuk or Debo.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, hats off to Juwan Jennings. He did make the play, but like I gotta believe, if we're talking about that kind of slant red zone play, Kittle makes that play, Ayuk makes that play. I gotta believe that, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the Ayuk's one catch was actually a really good catch because it wasn't that great of a throw. It was an extended off, like to the fingertips, pulled it in on a huge third down. The fact that they did, because like I said, it did look like a play where they drew it up to go to Ayuk, and he made the play. It was a tough one, and it was a crucial third down. So that leads me to believe that
you got to give him more run.
It's coming. It's coming. I mean, if we want to talk fantasy, he's a big trade target for me because. It's going to happen, I just and I'll probably go to my grave saying this because I still say the same thing about Jalen Hurts every offseason. but I think Ayuk's going to come into his own. He's going to be Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
I just refuse to not believe that.
I agree. I think he's gonna I hope and I hope it's sooner than later. But at the same token, I think that's all. I think it's linked with Trey Lance running this offense, right? Like if you look at the offensive like throw chart and like where we're completing these passes, and like we're not taking the top off of defenses. That's not how we're doing it at all. And like that's something that Ayuk can kind of excel at. So once Trey Lance is in there and we have that cannon, in the arsenal, I think this offense is going to be way different and way more formidable than what we're watching.
So do you think that we're getting closer to an eventual Trey Lance takeover? Like, has steps been taken in that direction, or has it been the opposite for you? Like, has it solidified more for Jimmy?
I mean, they are winning, so like it is tough to say that the team is going to want to deviate from what they're doing because they are winning games. Having said that, the games they've won, Detroit Lions and the Falcons, right?
Yeah.
So
the Eagles,
excuse me, different bird. Yeah. My bad.
Close enough.
Yeah. Sorry. Lions and Eagles, excuse me. And they're not great teams.
No.
Packers look like they're going to be a great team. I understand the fluky week one with them. I'm never counting Aaron Rodgers out, right? Like I'm never counting Devontae Adams out, Aaron Jones. Like they've got some superstars on that team.
Yep.
And I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback, that team has a chance to really, really win. So that will be a great test to go up against them. I just see a need for more Trey Lance type of plays because like our running back situation is what it is. Like we're going to need to be able to throw and we're going to need to be able to move the ball on the ground. And Trey Lance as one player gives us that, right? He kind of gives us, the ability to do that in different ways. So I think we need it because that first half against the Eagles looks so stale. It looks so stagnant and just not, and maybe they had some rust from the East Coast flying and the second road game, but this offense looks like a fraction of itself.
Yeah, it definitely does look like it needs. It's missing. It's like it's oomph. Like because I mean we've seen it. Like we know the offense has the capability to have that. So it's frustrating to see it not. And really we should be better than we've ever been. Obviously it takes some time. It's only week 2. Right. So, I mean, I'm hoping that this is sort of the game. The Packers defense is very bad.
They look not great. You're right.
So I'm hoping that it's going to kind of be an awakening for our offense a little bit. Because, I mean, our offense was pretty good against Detroit. It wasn't it was good. Pretty good. But last week definitely left a lot to be desired. But, I mean, like you said, we've been on the East Coast for 2 weeks straight. That takes
a toll. Yeah.
Sleeping in your own bed versus sleeping in a hotel room,
practicing your own facility.
Yeah, for sure. Having, those comforts, that you're normally used to, especially since it's our very first one. And we had to do that last year too, because we had a home game and then we went to New York and then stayed in New York and played back-to-back games there. So, I mean, that can't be easy. I've never, had to do something like that. So I'm sure that's difficult to play at the highest level. Without your daily comforts. So hopefully that was it. Maybe that's why we came out kind of slow. And I think another thing that impacted it as well was we haven't seen a big time crowd yet. This was the first time we had seen like the Lions, had a pretty decent sized crowd, but Philadelphia fans are a different breed.
No, yeah, they show out. I respect it too.
Yeah, and for sure. And I expect our fans to do the same. So once we're back in Levi's and the faithful are out being loud, I feel like it's gonna give us like that punch we need. So
right. And this game it's Sunday night, right? We're under the lights. Yeah, should be a good time.
Yep. 5:30 Pacific. 49ers are 3.5-point favorites. So
interesting.
So let's get into
we're 3.5-point favorites.
Well, we were 3-point favorites against the Eagles. Now we're 3.5-point favorites. So
against the Packers.
As of today, usually that line, I'm assuming that line will probably go closer I think it'll be 3 by game time. That's my guess, but
okay.
But 3.5 is what it sits at right now. So
yeah, more than a field goal, huh? The Packers scored a lot of points last week.
I know. I'm curious what the over under is. Because last week it was 50, and I'm assuming it's got to be 55 total points. I guess that seems like a appropriate line. Let's see. Right now the over under is 49.5, so it's even less than last week, according to Vegas. So
okay, interesting. I'd take the over.
Yeah, under the lights over as well. I also gave some bad Twitter advice. I hope nobody spent their money. I told him to buy the over on the Niners Eagles game.
Oh yeah,
but
it didn't hit the over.
That didn't. It's definitely no, wasn't even close either. So don't listen to me if you're looking for betting advice. Apparently, but take the over on this game. This one I guarantee.
Seems like it. Yeah, seems. I wouldn't say guarantee, but it just seemed like it.
I don't see any reason why this one wouldn't. Just.
Well,
good offenses.
Also, defense. With the running game the way that it is, like I would imagine we're going to throw it more, and that should put more. That should just leave more time on the clock overall. So, like, and Aaron Rodgers likes to throw touchdowns, dude. He's real good at it.
So, I mean, well, I guess let's talk a little bit about the running backs because Mitchell is hurt with his shoulder. Apparently, they said it was worse than they thought. It was more just a stinger.
But he's still the healthiest of like the starters, right?
Yes. So he probably has the best chance of playing. Sermon, we all saw the concussion
protocol.
He's questionable. So if neither of them play, it looks like Trenton Cannon is going to be our RB1.
Yep.
We signed Chris Thompson to our practice squad and Jaquez Patrick from the Browns practice squad onto ours. So that's going to be, basically 3 guys who weren't on our team last week are now our 1, 2, 3. So.
Are now representing the red and gold, and we have to get excited about it. But yeah, man, it's just, this stable of running backs is so, it's a toss up, man. What are we doing? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how we look against the Packers because if Elijah Mitchell is not ready to go, we're in a rough spot.
Yeah. And if Sermon doesn't play either, then we're basically just, do you basically, if that does happen, do you now change your game plan? Is it now because, the thought has always been, it doesn't matter who you are in a Kyle Shanahan system, you can thrive as a running back. So does that still apply or does that, you have to at least be,
I don't know. We're talking about guys that weren't making teams, right? Like but I understand the optimism in a Shanahan system, and I have it. I think that it is very, very running back friendly. But these players were not making teams, so to assume that they're just it's that much of a plug and play system, like the running backs who have thrived have always had like this like one kind of niche skill set that was able to then like be utilized, like Mostert with the home run speed, Mitchell too with the bit of the speed. I haven't seen it with Sermon yet, but and years prior Breida, like just like these things are like, oh fuck, we can't stop speed, and like we'll have like these big holes. That's not what we have in our stable running backs at the moment. So
Kerryon Johnson and Chris Thompson, which I'm assuming will be the 1-2. There's no way those guys still have juice at this point. Like
not much. Chris Thompson might still have some hands.
I'm sure. I feel like that's one thing that you just kind of you don't really lose, but he's had a lot. He's another guy who's been hurt a lot. So,
but to me, it also makes sense. More designed runs for Debo and Ayuk. If we don't have the running backs like they've already shown a propensity to do that, right? To feature their wide receivers in these roles of taking handoffs in the backfield. So if your running backs have already taken these types of hits and are not all ready to go, Ayuk needs to get going. Debo has already shown that if you give him the ball, he's going to run with it. So just get them more involved in that aspect of the game.
Do you think this is going to be an excuse to maybe play Trey Lance more because now we're missing an aspect? Yes. We might as well have a different aspect.
I would do well. Trey Lance just as one player can run and can throw. Yeah, Jimmy. While he did get the sneak, that's not a guy that I really want. Like at 3rd and 8, can he get outside and pick it up? I don't know, but fucking Trey Lance, I'd bet $1 he could.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. He does, like you said, he does have instead of having to rush 30 times the running back, now maybe you can rush 22 times because now Trey Lance can take 8 of those.
He'll pick it up. So, and hopefully he plays smart. He slides, doesn't take these unnecessary hits. But he's an athlete.
He's an athlete, and we have 2. One of the pros of having 2 quarterbacks has got to be I can be a little less scared. Because now I don't have to play Trey Lance like he's my last hope and my only path to a Super Bowl, because I have 2 who hopefully, I'm assuming Kyle believes in both. So
yeah, he's shown it. He started Jimmy 2 games in a row. He definitely believes in him to this extent. Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. So let's go through the rest of our injuries. Eric Armstead, his abductor is still bothering him. Apparently, he did not participate in practice. Kevin Givens' ankle did not participate. Jermichael Hasty ankle did not participate. Javon Kinlaw was limited. Emmanuel Mosley was limited. Elijah Mitchell did not participate. Josh Norman was a full participant. And then Trey Sermon was limited. He wore the blue no contact jersey. So
yeah, because he's still in the protocol, right?
I think he's still. I don't really know what the steps are exactly for concussion protocol, but I think there's
a test he's going to have to pass tomorrow.
Yeah, but he's still far enough along to where they let him suit up. But one thing to remember: Thursdays are usually more important. So, a vet can not play Wednesday, play Thursday, and still play. So, I expect Armstead to play, and I expect Kinlaw to play. I'm hoping Emmanuel Mosley makes his debut.
That'd be nice. We need him.
Yeah, we definitely need him. I think Norman played pretty well, and Demo played well, minus that one play. Really, our cornerbacks played overall pretty well. Norman did have a couple pass interference plays, but I thought they played pretty well.
Yeah. We weren't getting torched. There was that Quez Cephas? No, Quez Watkins.
Quez Watkins, yeah.
Quez Watkins
is the
Detroit Lions. Yeah. There was that play to Watkins, but it's not like we were getting torched through the air just at will. So good test. But if we're talking about receiving weapons, like Devontae Adams is a different beast. Even Bob Tonyan, that their tight end, good tight end that can get in the end zone and run after the catch type of player. So he also was at George Kittle's tight end camp, all in the offseason too. So Bob Tonyan's probably learned a thing or two.
Yeah.
We're gonna have it'll be a way different test. Devontae Adams is just about as real as you can get.
Yeah. And not to mention, that's the type of wide receiver that Emmanuel Mosley usually has trouble with. Because we saw it last year with DK and with Devontae Adams. He just can't hang with the big.
To be fair,
guys.
Few can hang.
That is
few
true.
Can hang with those two.
That is
maybe 2 cornerbacks in the whole league, and even them, like Stephon Gilmore, even he got mossed by DK. But those 2 players, when they're feeling it on on any given Sunday, really, really dominate.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting him to go and lock him down, but I'm pretty sure he got pulled both times. You have to at least be good enough to where it's you
can stay in the game.
Because it's right. Because where it's Devontae Adams is just that good. It's okay.
Yeah.
But to the point where you're just looking directly at Emmanuel Mosley in the eyes and saying,
if you're a liability, you can't do it. You can't do it that way.
You can't. You need to at least be good enough to where they have to work for their yards. It's not just freebies everywhere. It's not like the Dante Johnson treatment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, you got to at least win some.
Yeah.
You don't have to win everyone, but at least some. All right. So what else we got? So let's talk about the Packers a little bit. So is your viewpoint that week 1 was a fluke and that the Packers are back to being their normal selves?
I don't know if they're 100% back to being their normal selves. They still look a little shaky, but I do think week 1 is a fluke. The talent on that offense is nuts. And Aaron Rodgers he just always looks like he's if he's in the game and he's behind center, they have a chance to win. So I think they're going to be coming back and just playing like we thought they would play.
Yeah. And anytime a quarterback's that good, doesn't even matter who's around him. It's going to be tough because he's Aaron Rodgers. He's
a
Hall of Famer. He's going to find ways he's going to find that weakness in your defense, and he's going to find ways to exploit it. So that's just what good quarterbacks do.
Yeah, but they are without their left tackle, Bakhtiari, right? Like he's still not in. So
and his backup is hurt too.
Yeah, so like our defensive line is poised to have a nice day against them, and if they are able to fire off against the Packers, and really get in Aaron Rodgers' face, we'll have a really good chance to keep them at either low scores and give us a chance to win, or just hopefully create some turnovers and just completely keep them out of the game.
And it is something to note: the 49ers usually just do well against the way that the 49ers build their team. Is built to beat the Packers, and that's what we've done throughout the history of Kyle Shanahan, essentially, even before him, really.
Well, but most recently it was kind of on the ground, right? Like it was we just gashed them on the ground. Yeah. Right now with our shaky, running back room, it makes me wonder how we're going to do it.
Yes, that is definitely going to be the question. Unless Trenton Cannon does step up. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Kaepernick broke some quarterback rushing record against them. What if Trey Lance breaks that record?
190, I think 190 yards is the record.
Can we do that?
I don't know. There's a script for it. We got the film for it. So
I say yeah. I say Kyle. Hey, I say Kyle, let it rip.
I mean, really, this is probably would be a pretty good game for Trey Lance to start. In all honesty,
why not, man? I'm seeing all these other fucking teams that drafted rookie quarterbacks starting. I mean, they look like they're having so much fun. Even the Jets, they're booing their guy.
Did they already boo him?
Yo, they booed him at home. It's not good. It's not pretty.
I know. I understand being upset, but you can't boo him.
You can't boo him at home. Those fans are just ungrateful.
Zach Wilson fans
especially because he was getting Zach Wilson got Belichicked, right? He was getting it was against the Patriots, and Zach Wilson looked absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And you know what? Bill Belichick will make you look terrible because Belichick's a genius.
Yeah. I saw the stat. It was Bill Belichick's record against rookie quarterbacks is I don't know if he's undefeated, but it's unheard of for a rookie quarterback to beat him.
That makes sense to me.
It's it makes sense. So looking over the past 2 weeks, are you looking at the 49ers as Super Bowl contenders, or have you not seen enough yet to be able to say that?
I have not. No, I have not seen enough. I'm looking at just the teams in our division, right? I'm looking at the Rams, the Cardinals, the Seahawks. Their offenses and even the defense with the Cardinals, it looks like they're firing on all cylinders, and I just don't see that with us right now. Even though we are winning games, and I'm grateful, but if I had to, in my head, play us a game against the Cardinals, I don't know how we're stopping Kyler, DeAndre Hopkins, and with the oncoming of Rondale Moore. The Rams, Stafford is slinging it to Kupp. Darrell Henderson looks real. These offenses are running really well. Same with the Rams defense with Aaron Donald and Ramsey. And Seahawks are, they're still always, our nemesis. So these teams look like they're playing the way that I think they are. Their identity makes sense. Right now, the 49ers, at least their offensive identity, I don't see it. I see this such a heavy leaning on this stable of running backs. And even that, these stable of running backs are being decimated. So it's tough to say, what am I relying on for the 49ers to succeed with? Is it just these kind of chipping away at teams and, and chipping to squeak out wins, week to week? I don't know if that really is going to work against a team like the Packers. And then when we see the Cardinals and Rams and the Seahawks.
Yep. And I mean, they say good teams win close games. I mean, there's something to say for the wins, but at the same time, we have not seen enough. I think we can both agree that what we have seen has not been enough. And then, like you said, we're in the NFC West. We're, in the NFC East, it's a little different. But
yeah.
I mean, to win this division, you're probably going to have to win 12 games at least. It seems like
at least,
and then 6 of those games are against 3 other playoff teams. So now your schedule is harder. You have to win more games, and you're probably fighting your own division for a wild card spot. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's it's not promising to see the way that the Cardinals are clicking on offense. I mean, they should have lost that game. But and the way the Rams are clicking on offense, how good. I mean, it just looks like so natural, Stafford and with the Rams, and just the way their offense is working. Because that's like almost the worst part. Because it's like we almost got Stafford, and then Stafford.
But we got Lance. Like I want Lance.
Yeah, but we're not playing him though.
I know
Stafford
that's
is out there looking like the MVP. You know.
Yeah.
That's like That's what's frustrating about it. You know.
I get that.
And like, when we could have done 3 first-round picks and gotten Matt Stafford. You know, so. It's frustrating.
Wait, I wouldn't want him. Why wouldn't want him to make that trade? Is that what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't either. But I'm saying, like,
keep the first 3 rounders.
Like, we had the capability to make a move for Stafford. We didn't.
Yeah.
And now Stafford is, I mean, looking like he's going to carry this team a long way.
It looks like he's going to throw for 5,000 easily.
Yeah, right. So I mean, if we end up, not making the playoffs and Stafford carries the Rams to the 1 seed, you're just like, bruh, you know what I mean?
If we don't make the playoffs and Trey Lance has just this, non-start factor on the season, I'll be incredibly, disappointed with how we've managed, just this season particularly.
I have a hard time imagining if we're in a situation where like we're looking like we're not going to make the playoffs. I'm assuming then it's got to be Trey time at that point.
But it's just like I truly believe Trey's the type of player and athlete that like gives us a playoff edge, like that gives us an edge to be more dangerous and like get us to the postseason. Like I just haven't really seen that with the way Jimmy's been playing, even though we're winning. I just don't think that we're winning so much because we have Jimmy G at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I like to believe that Jimmy just finds ways to win games when he's healthy because that's just what he does.
Right. That slant to Debo, right, where he threw across 2 or 3 different Eagles defenders. That was a great throw. I did let's praise him where he is doing well. That was a great throw. If I'm being honest, overall, the 49ers offense looks a little stale to me. It doesn't look like what I think it should look like with the type of players we have in Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle. Yeah.
I mean, when your offense is stacked as it is, I mean, if the Chiefs are out there putting up 17 and not really it's a kind of a shaky 17, you're probably thinking, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I mean? But that's the potential that our offense has. And it needs to be more, it just needs to
be. Like if Kelsey isn't working, Tyreek Hill goes off, right? If Tyreek Hill's not going on, they have these and Mahomes just makes it work too.
Yes.
But they same with the Seahawks. If Tyler Lockett's not going off, DK's going off. If they're not working, they lean on Chris Carson, and then at the same time Russell Wilson can make plays on his feet, or he's just a magician.
Yes.
I don't have the players that I want to say can do that. We're not really featuring. If Debo's not going to work, Ayuk steps up, or if Ayuk's not working, Kittle's definitely the man. We're not doing those things. It's just Debo's getting fed, which I love. Keep doing that. But we're leaning on this stable of running backs so heavy, and I don't know. I don't get why yet, because we won't be able to this week, right? We're gonna see what we do without him.
Yep, it's definitely it's gonna be a test. We're gonna need to click. It's gonna be click or lose, and I'm hoping that it'll just click, and we'll say, okay. It was just kind of, we were playing down to our competition a little bit, a long sleepy road trip. And now it's okay, NFC, I mean, we aren't really rivals with the Packers, but we do kind of have a little bit of a rivalry.
It is an NFC team, though. It matters. It does matter.
They're competitors, and we played them in the playoffs a lot. We've seen them, in really intense football games recently. So there's got to be a little bit of something there. And I'm hoping we're just okay. I mean, it'll just all click and it'll all come. So.
Well, and despite the weird week 1 for the Packers, I do believe that's a real football team. So, in your eyes, if we go up against a real football team, because I'm not really sure we have yet. If we go up against a real football team and lose, are you more of the mind to just get Trey Lance in there and let him learn? Let him take his if we're not going to beat a good football team with what we have, can we just develop this superstar that we drafted 3rd overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think my goal for this year is going to be, I have Super Bowl hopes this year. And anything that's going to get us there. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter how, but if we end up losing this game and it seems like our offense just can't get it together, I mean, and it seems like it seems like it's Jimmy's fault, then I feel like I'd be okay starting Trey Lance. I mean, right now my choice would be Jimmy G, but I mean, if he ends up costing us this game, I mean, it'll be tough to say because was it really his fault or is it because he doesn't have a running back, So
yeah,
I don't know. There's always going to be that,
That'll be a caveat,
but
I will say, like, yeah, he doesn't have his running back, but if it's Trey Lance is in there, does he mitigate that?
Maybe.
Because he might.
Yeah, and he might. And there are quarterbacks out there who do. They don't. So, but I mean, that isn't what Jimmy G is. It is what Trey Lance could be. Man, I don't know. I mean, do I want Trey Lance's first start to be in Seattle, or is week 2 in Seattle, or are we home?
I do not. I don't know. Because I would like his first start to be against the Packers. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, I feel like if we decide we do want to go, it is in San Francisco, but I think I want the first start to be lined up in a way that he's set up to succeed. I don't want him, regardless of how bad Seattle's defense is, I don't want him to go into Seattle week 1, and like we play the Bears later on. I don't want in Chicago. That doesn't sound like a good week 1 to me.
Do you want
Indy?
But do you want a scenario where he's announced the starter before the game? Or do you what would you think if you turned it on, Sunday Niner game and it's just like, oh, Trey Lance with the surprise start.
And he just like runs out and they're like, oh, I guess it's him. I don't want that. That's just
you don't want that.
I would need to mentally prepare my brain because I'm just like,
so you want the announcement.
Oh yeah. The more time, the better, honestly. If you could tell me 3 weeks in advance, that's how that's just how my brain works. I don't know. So do you have any last second things before we get into our game picks?
Let's get Trey Lance going.
Yeah. Final remarks.
Kyle, I hope you hear me.
It might be trade time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's trade day,
I think the consensus out there right now for 49er fans is start Trey Lance, I think. At least on Twitter, that seems like what it's turning into. So not that matters. Obviously, we don't have any say, but
well, I mean, like people make the argument like, oh, we're paying Jimmy G this much. It's like, well, what we paid for Trey Lance, 3 first-round picks to move up. I'll put that right up there with the hefty contract in terms of value. You know what I'm saying? So like
more,
exactly more. So if we're doing that, I want to see the return on that investment.
Yep. Not to mention, I mean, the more reps he gets, the faster he's gonna.
He's gonna he's gonna learn. He's gonna develop. He's gonna get better.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I at least need to see more of it. I don't want to see Jimmy play the whole game. I want to see what we did against the Lions, but with more creative opportunities for Trey. That's what I want.
The type of athlete that Trey is. Like when Justin Herbert had to get the spot start because Tyrod got stabbed in the lung, and it's just a touchdown factory. Like I do truly believe that Trey Lance could do that.
I do too. I mean, I think the capability's there. He looked very inconsistent, so it's worrisome. But we'll see. And honestly, like we're not going to know till we see it in a real football game. That's all it comes down to, So I'm
just going to say I already know.
Okay, there you go.
I got that.
Folks. He already.
I already
just like I knew that the game was going to be bet the over last week.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get in. Last week I went 9-7, and John went 8-8. So now we are 17.
Okay, we are tied up.
So I will go first this week. Carolina at Houston. I am going to go Carolina.
Yeah, kind of have to. Even though Houston's they win games.
I know. They look way better than we thought. But
they got Mills starting this week, though, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Tyrod Taylor's the credit. He's going to have to start on a short week, and Carolina's got a pretty good defense. Who picks these Thursday night games? You know what I mean? Like, I could go through here and pick about 10 games I'd rather see.
Yeah.
Anyways, Washington at Buffalo.
I mean, I like the idea of Washington's defense, but it really hasn't been able to stop many people. So I think Buffalo kind of edges and beats them.
Yeah, I have been the Giants found a way to score 30 on them. So
right.
Yeah.
I gotta believe that Josh Allen finds a similar path to success.
Yeah. Cleveland, Chicago at Cleveland. I'm going to go Cleveland.
See, this one could be interesting because quarterbacks that step in that teams haven't been able to game plan for, like Justin Fields is going to be able to do, usually see a moderate amount of success. So I'm going to say Chicago. I want to go Chicago as let's have some fun. Let's go Justin Fields. Yeah.
Baltimore at Detroit.
Seems a little lazy.
Yeah. Detroit.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
I will also go Baltimore. You see Lamar Jackson just put that team on his back for the Chiefs. Jeez Louise,
man. That's what we want, you know.
I mean, 100%. And the Ravens took Lamar Jackson at the tail end of the first. We traded 3 first rounders to take Trey at 3. Like
when like everything goes to shit, if your quarterback can just say like, I got this, bro, not just against any team,
not any team, right?
Kansas City Chiefs, you know, like I have so much respect for Lamar, man.
100%.
That was, man. Speaking of putting the team on your back, Derrick Henry.
Whoa, what a monster!
Wow, dude, that was
what a monster, dude.
Insane. I was playing Tyler Lockett and Derrick Henry in one of my fantasy leagues.
Nice.
I got destroyed. So,
I thought you meant you were deploying them. Like, yeah, it was okay. They were playing against you. My bad.
Who scored 0.58 points? Not a good time.
Yeah.
So, who went last? You went first. I'll go. I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Yeah. Tennessee's defense hasn't been that great, and I do kind of think that Jonathan Taylor is gonna break that touchdown drought in a big way. And Pittman looked kind of good too.
Pittman did look good.
Tennessee at home. Let's go Indy. I want to go Indy. Because I think Tennessee's defense isn't that cool, and if Jonathan Taylor does get going, it really does give Indy a really good edge.
All right. Chiefs or Chargers at Chiefs.
I lean the Chiefs. You kind of can have to.
Yeah, in Kansas City, coming off of a loss, I feel like has Mahomes ever lost 2 games in a row? I'm honestly not
That'll be interesting. I don't know if we should look that up, but I don't. Probably not.
Saints at Patriots. I'm gonna go Saints this one.
Well, Jameis Winston looked a little. He looked mortal. You right?
Yeah, he looked like Jameis.
He looked like Jameis, and we're talking about Bill Belichick led defenses who know how to shut down what you like to do. Let's go New England.
All right. Atlanta at Giants.
Now this is a slot fest. I'm going Giants.
This one's tough because the Giants have looked. I'm gonna go Giants.
Well, Danny it's huck it, chuck it football over there, you know, and like Atlanta can't really stop much.
Yeah, I bet that one will be high scoring just because Atlanta's defense couldn't stop anything if it wanted to. So, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's looked pretty good.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh coming off the loss against the Raiders are probably fucking mad, right? Like I'd be mad. And Burrow just threw like Ravens. How many picks did Burrow throw last game?
I'm not sure.
I want to say it was at least 4. So I think Pittsburgh has a good defensive day and they have a get right game after the upset with the Raiders. I'm going Pittsburgh.
The Burrow threw 3.
3, okay.
I'm also going to go Pitt. In the Steel City. Yeah, I'm going to go Pitt. Arizona at Jacksonville. This one's Arizona for me.
Arizona all day, man.
Jacksonville to upset. They didn't, but.
Oh, I want it so bad. But Urban Meyer does it. Oh, I hate that offense. He's running so much. They have a rookie quarterback. They're asking him to throw 50 pass attempts while also they have a 1,000-yard running back just ready to go.
Yeah,
they don't want to use him.
He's not even getting the bulk of carries. Like
he's not getting. Oh. I mean, he is beating out Hyde in carries marginally, but the amount of carries that they are getting to their running backs is stupid.
Yeah, I knew week 1 Hyde had more carries. Bro. Jets at Denver. This is you this time.
Let's go Denver.
Denver going 3-0. I'm gonna go Denver as well. That Jets team and their defense, that Denver secondary is gonna
Denver at home
might be seeing
too.
Ghosts. Yeah.
Well, Denver at home is a real advantage, man. A lot of teams aren't ready for that mile high.
Yeah, that elevation.
That elevation's real.
So here's a question: are the Raiders real?
That's a great question.
Raiders.
Beating the Steelers is a big deal. Mm-hmm. Tua's not playing. You got to go Raiders then.
Yeah, you got to go Raiders.
Excuse me.
And, all right, Tampa Bay at Rams. This is going to be a good ass game.
That's a great game. I kind of give the edge to Tampa in the defense.
Yeah,
like the
Rams defenses, two good offenses.
Well, the Rams have they have the name recognition with Donald and Ramsey, but the Buccaneers have more players in more places.
Yeah.
That just their linebacking core is absolutely nuts. Vita Vea in the middle is no slouch himself. If you want to do an Aaron Donald light.
Dominican Sue is on that.
I don't even know.
Still got a little bit.
He might even weigh just about the same as Aaron Donald. But yeah,
holds it a little differently.
Yeah, I think Tampa has more players in more places on that defense. I give the edge to Tampa.
Yep. All right. Well, that is going to do it. We are out of time. Our picks are all fully in. We will be back live after Sunday Night Football. Hopefully, we'll be in good moods, 3-0. We will see. If not, we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Normal time, 5 o'clock Pacific, just like we always are. We will see you guys next week.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like football, baby. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again.